From winning games for fun,
Luis Diaz! Brilliant! What a goal that is!
Everything was perfect, everything was spot on.
I'm stunned at where Liverpool are.
Compared with all any other teams. I don't see anybody better than Liverpool this season.
to barely winning at all.
Still in there, danger, and Nketiah has won it for Palace. You want your team to be in control, and very rarely this season have Liverpool ever been in control of a game of football.
Defensively, they are struggling. They are not at the level they were last season.
From having the best player in the Premier League,
Lovely ball. Here goes Salah for Liverpool. There goes Mohamed Salah for Liverpool. There is the second goal.
41 goals and assists in a single Premier League season.
Well, this is going to end up being the greatest season we've ever seen from an individual.
The goals are there, the assists are there, the smiles there, and his team's top of the Premier League.
to people asking for him to be dropped.
Because I think we're at the stage with Mo Salah right now where he shouldn't be playing every game.
From being the champions to losing to Amorim's United, what the hell is happening with Liverpool? It feels so strange to see the club like this. It wasn't that long ago where they were flying high, full of belief, energy, and that swagger that comes from being the defending champions. They had made big signings, and they had a manager in Arne Slot who was meant to bring a fresh spark to the team that was already bursting with talent. But now the mood has flipped completely. 4 straight losses. That's the first time this has happened to Liverpool since November of 2014. Yes, we have to go back to the Brendan Rodgers era to find the last time that Liverpool lost 4 matches in a row. This is not normal for a club of this size. Something just isn't right. So how did this all happen so fast? That's the question that everyone keeps asking. Liverpool were at the top of the table not too long ago. Now they just look lost. Not only are the results bad, the performances are even worse. Because fans aren't just frustrated about losing games. They're frustrated about how lifeless the team looks while doing it. Now some people make the argument that this didn't actually happen overnight. It might feel like it happened really fast, but the problems go back months ago. Even during the good runs earlier in the season, the performances were patchy. I'm talking about both the last part of the 2024-2025 season and early 2025-2026. Because late goals and individual brilliance masked a lot of deeper issues. The team got away with it earlier in the season, but the cracks were already there. Like I said, we can even compare this to the tail end of the season where Liverpool became champions. By March, the team's energy and structure had began to fade. But of course, nobody cared then because they were already the champions. But that loss of identity, that sharpness that made Liverpool Liverpool hasn't come back yet. And it's caused chaos in the fan base. I mean, you can see it from the fans online. I'm sure it's happening in pubs. Everyone's either joking to hide the pain or genuinely wondering what's gone wrong. We live in a period of time where you cannot afford to have bad games, whether it's slander names like Florian Squirts, Isak the Somalian Pirate, or videos of Van Dijk twerking. If you lose games, you're going to be made fun of. And Liverpool fans in particular are not used to seeing their team like this. So rival fans are enjoying it even more, getting their shots in. But beneath all the banter and the jokes and the memes, there is a sense that Liverpool's current slump is more than just bad luck. There are real problems both on the pitch and maybe even in the dressing room. The big issue that I think most people have noticed is how much Liverpool are wasting chances. They still create opportunities, but they're just not finishing them. Against Manchester United, they hit the woodwork 3 times. Slot himself even admitted it in the post-match press conference.
And that normally doesn't lead to losing the game of football. But we did, because we missed a lot.
That kind of inefficiency just kills you at this high level. Because Liverpool are still getting forward. They're just not making it count. When a team builds a lot of good moves but can't turn them into goals, frustration turns into panic. And that panic turns into poor decisions. Defensively, things look even worse. Liverpool's defense is one of the biggest reasons why they won the Premier League last season. But now they just look vulnerable. You string together a couple of passes, you're automatically attacking the back line.
Defences win titles. And that's why Liverpool's got no chance now of winning this title. How can you possibly win a title when your back 4 are in so much disarray that you can't defend against anybody?
Set pieces have become a reoccurring problem, something that once again Slot himself has called out.
The few chances we've conceded led to 2 goals. Conceded were again a set piece.
They're conceding too many crosses, which is a worrying sign for a team that once prided itself on defensive discipline. It's not like the players suddenly forgot how to defend, but the system looks shakier. It's genuinely never been easier to attack Liverpool at the heart of their team. Their midfield just gets passed too easily, and there's so many gaps to exploit once you see that back line. Now, of course, all of these issues are made worse because of the elephant in the room, and that's the money that they have spent. The club spent an incredible £446 million in the summer transfer window, and when you spend that much money, it naturally raises expectations. When you invest that much, fans expect results. It's as simple as that. The problem is that, as we have seen historically with football, spending doesn't guarantee chemistry. A squad full of new names still needs time to gel. And right now, it feels like Liverpool are caught between two eras: the end of Klopp's machine and the uncertain beginning of Slot's version. The style is different, the roles are changing, and there are some obvious growing pains. Now, some fans understand that transitions take time, but others, they're running out of patience. There's a clear friction between the old expectations and the new realities. Under Klopp, even when things went wrong, there was at least an identity and unity. Slot is still searching for his version of that, and it's not been easy this season. And in fact, one of the things that most fans agree on is that Liverpool are going through a coaching issue, not just bad form. This isn't just about the players having an off day, it's about coaching. And that was actually made very clear in the international break. Pretty much every single Liverpool player played amazing for their respective country. So it's clearly not a talent issue or the players being in bad form. It's about coaching, like I said. Liverpool looked like a team that doesn't understand its own system. And for the first time in his Liverpool career, Slot is starting to feel the heat for that. Now, fans are not turning on him yet. I'm talking about the real fans, not the people that pretend to be fans on Twitter. But the patience is wearing thin. I think most normal people are not Slot out. But when you see the same problems for 12 games, you expect the manager to at least fix something. Last season, it was a smooth transition, but now Liverpool just look confused and inconsistent. The main criticism is that Slot is too stubborn and too slow to adapt, which is weird to say given that adaptability was his best quality last year. His switches on the fly, his tactical adjustments based on the opposition. That's what made Arne Slot so good. But now the team keeps making the same mistakes every week, and Slot, he's refusing to change anything. Fans have been crying out for rotations. They're tired of seeing the same lineup even though it's clearly not working. Some think that he's protecting the big names too much. For example, why is Ekitike and Chiesa not starting, while Salah and Isak continue to be on the pitch even when they're stinking it up? I thought that was the whole point of having great depth, is that you can rotate without seeing a drop-off in quality. I actually think players like Ekitike, Chiesa, and Curtis Jones are a fantastic example of players that need to be on the pitch. They're guys who just decide to take the initiative and drive at defenders instead of sticking to whatever slow, rigid plan Slot has in place. When these guys are on the pitch, when they're the ones on the ball, Liverpool suddenly look alive. Now, having said that, this style of play isn't sustainable. It is a bit of chaos football. But again, that comes down to coaching. If the best moments happen when players abandon the system, then the system itself is the problem. And that's why so many people want to see a formation change. They want Slot to stop experimenting with half-baked systems and just settle on something that suits the players. I mean, the guy came in with a reputation for tactical structure and modern football ideas. But now every week, I feel like I'm wondering what exactly Slot is trying to do. And that's the heart of the frustration. People are not seeing progress or adaptation. They're just seeing repetition. I kind of sounded like Eminem there rapping. For a team that invested so much money in the attack, it's weird that they look so disconnected. They just don't seem to be even on the same wavelength sometimes. Then you have the midfield, which looks absent. And then they're pressing. Their biggest weapon from last season has just completely disappeared. It's so easy to break past that initial pressure, and then once you break that, boom, you're through on goal, running at the back four with no protection. Teams are basically raw dogging Liverpool without a condom. Then even when Liverpool were winning, fans were still saying the same thing. It felt like the first 5 games, they were just getting away with it. Every single one of their wins this season had come from last-minute goals or just moments of individual brilliance. Against Burnley, it was a late penalty. Against Newcastle, it was an injury time winner from Rio Ngamoa.
Lovely dummy, Ngamoa!
Against Arsenal, it was Szoboszlai's beautiful free kick.
Szoboszlai's hit! Oh yes! It is something very, very special from Dominic Szoboszlai!
There was a pattern. The games had no control, no flow, just pure chaos. Heck, you even saw it in the first game against Bournemouth. And as I stated earlier, the warning signs actually go further back than even this season. Fans are connecting the dots back to the end of last season, where the performances dipped as soon as the title was sealed. Ever since then, Liverpool really haven't looked the same, and Slot hasn't managed to fix it. When a team looks tactically lost and the manager refuses to make changes, fans start to wonder if he really sees what they see. Like, are we watching the same game? The man keeps playing the same players in the same system and expecting different results. What he really needs to do is just rewatch the Atletico game. I feel like the answers were right there. Salah works best with Frimpong, Isak needs Wirtz, that is if Isak is playing, and the title-winning midfield from last season only functions properly with Ekitike, not Isak. It's really not rocket science. I feel like you can see the chemistry between the different players on the pitch. For some reason, Slot is just ignoring it. Even some of his late substitutions have become predictable. People call them chaos subs because he's just throwing on attackers late in the game and then hoping something clicks. Yes, that might work once in a while, but it's not a reliable strategy. You can't keep throwing the kitchen sink in every single match. Then of course there's the issue of individuals. There are questions being asked about certain players, especially the new signings, like Alexander Isak. This man was supposed to be the big money striker to take Liverpool to the next level. But right now people are wondering, is this guy even on the pitch? 120 million pounds and the man is ghosting. He hasn't found his rhythm at all. Meanwhile, his replacement at Newcastle has already hit the ground running. Think about that. Voltemada came into a new league and country and immediately started scoring goals. Meanwhile, Isak, who has dominated this league before, is struggling. Maybe it's a system problem. Isak's not getting the ball in the right areas. He's not getting as many touches on the ball as he should be. But even if that was true, Slot's obsession with getting Isak match fit and adjusted in has completely ruined the momentum that Ekitike had been building. Ekitike had been unreal since the day he put on a Liverpool shirt, yet he was reduced to a bench role despite the fact that he's been the only good performing signing. Seriously, the guy was scoring for fun. The only mistake he made was taking his shirt off against Southampton, but at least he was scoring. At least he was doing something when he touched the ball. It's so obvious that whenever he's on the pitch, Liverpool play better. So at this point, when Isak is playing like a Somalian pirate, you might as well have someone else lead the line until he regains his form. And then you have Florian Wirtz, who once again has been nowhere near the quality people expected when the Reds brought him from Leverkusen. He's had some nice cameos, some nice moments, and he's not a bad player, but he's also nowhere near the price tag that was paid for him. Like, think about it, Liverpool spent 300 million pounds on forwards just for the Italian guy they don't want and the lanky Dutch kid to get all the goals. They spent $500 million to build the team around Gakpo. Speaking of the Italian guy, to this day I still don't understand why Chiesa isn't played more often. Every time this guy comes on, he looks lively. Against United, he set up Liverpool's only goal, which once again made fans even angrier that he didn't start. I think he's averaging a goal contribution every 30 minutes or something. The guy has to be starting games, especially when the rest of the team isn't even playing well. So there's no excuses. Slot must have this anti-Italian discrimination or something, because the man just refuses to acknowledge how good Chiesa is. I mean, yes, that last line is tongue-in-cheek. I'm sure Slot doesn't have any issues with lasagna lovers. But again, it goes to show why people are questioning Dutch Caillou so much. You have a guy here who's been the model professional, who's contributed every single time he's been on the pitch, and yet it seems like he can't get an opportunity. Like, the guy's not even in the Champions League squad. Why can't he be starting Premier League games? Now, it's not just the new guys getting slammed. Even the Liverpool legends aren't safe. Everyone's pretty much openly calling out Salah and Van Dijk, two guys who used to be untouchable.
I wouldn't start with Salah, and I hate the way we've got to be loyal to our big stars, but at the end of the day, if they're not performing, you don't play them.
Salah, I feel like, must be dealing with something mentally, because how do you go from being the best player in the Premier League to someone who now people want dropped? He just doesn't look the same anymore. I've never seen someone be this bad after being so good. The guy won every single award you can think of in the Premier League, and now he looks like Egyptian Garnacho. I never thought I would see the day where Salah being on the pitch was a net negative for the team. The once reliable goal machine is now drier than the deserts from his home country. And then Van Dijk, he's had some bad moments this season too. And Mbumo's goal was because of him doing his nonchalant gimmick.
We mentioned Virgil van Dijk, me and Gary, a lot on commentary, that he's got to get back quicker and they've just got to do more. They've got to sprint back and get there before he does.
There are some games where he looks as amazing as ever, but then there's other games where he keeps making these individual mistakes. Is it a system issue where the backline is too exposed? I don't know. But it's obvious that once again, this is not the same Van Dijk from last season. The mood around the veterans is very clear. The performances have to change. Reputation means nothing when the team is losing. When the confidence dips across the squad, even small errors look huge, and that's what's happening right now. Every misplaced pass, every defensive lapse, every missed chance feels like a crisis. And the psychology of it all might be the biggest problem. Football is very emotional. Momentum matters. Losing can become a habit just as easily as winning does. And fans can sense this too. They see the team looking slow, flat, and lacking that spark. Because we can sit here and talk about tactics all day, but at times football is about belief. The longer this losing streak goes on, the harder it becomes to break. For a team that's used to dominance, losing 4 in a row doesn't just hurt, it shakes the entire identity of what Liverpool is supposed to be. And that's why among the fan base, the emotions are all over the place. There's frustration, there's nostalgia for the Klopp era, even for last season. Some people try to stay positive, but others can't help but compare this team to the ones that used to crush everyone in sight. The patience that fans had for Klopp's rebuild seems thinner now. The expectation is instant success because of the spending and the fact that they won the title last year. But now Liverpool have become a meme. And a lot of fans are really tired of the excuses, because you can say it's early in the season, they're creating chances, give it time, which are all true. As we saw with PSG in the 2024-2025 season, you can change around your whole year midway through. But those lines don't land anymore when you're losing game after game. Because beneath the memes about bald frauds and Arne Slot's shiny head, there's a genuine feeling of fear that the magic might be gone. Because beyond the individuals, there's a bigger issue. Liverpool just look like a team without direction. The passing is slow, the movement is predictable. Like I stated earlier, the pressing that once defined them is just gone. Because it's not even about them losing, it's just how boring they are. And I never thought I would explain a Liverpool team as boring. Players look unsure of what to do with the ball. Off the ball, they don't defend as a unit. There's no rhythm or spark, which is crazy given the amount of talent on the pitch. And it's gone on long enough where you can't really say it's a slump. It just feels like a team that doesn't know what it's supposed to be doing anymore. And Slot's substitutions that used to be one of his best features just aren't inspiring confidence anymore. Sometimes it looks like it's a random sub rather than part of a real plan. It's the kind of reactive football that fans thought they had left behind. Still though, I don't think Liverpool fans are completely hopeless. They're just more desperate for answers. They want accountability and change, not just these empty reassurances. Because when you watch them play, the general feeling is that the solutions aren't that far away, but they do need to show up now. The finishing has to improve, their defense has to regain structure. They have to play with purpose again. The leaders like Van Dijk and Salah and Isak, they have to step up. And then of course, importantly, they want to see results. The mood will only lift once the wins return. From the outside looking in, this feels like a critical moment. The last time Liverpool lost 4 in a row was during the Brendan Rodgers final months, which was right before a managerial change that reshaped the club. Now I hope it goes without saying, I am not saying that Slot is anywhere near that point. When you win the Premier League in your first season, you have enough credit in the bank to see out a bad season. But this is a test of how he handles adversity. Does he find a way to turn it around, or does the pressure eat him up? The danger is obvious. If this slump drags on, it can spiral. Confidence drops, players start doubting themselves, fans lose faith, and suddenly the noise grows even louder. That kind of atmosphere is very hard to fix once it sets in, but there's also a big opportunity here. One good win, especially in a big match, could change everything. Momentum is very fragile, it can swing in both ways. And with the amount of talent that Liverpool have, it's not far-fetched to think that they could turn it around quickly if they can just click again. The scale of their slump is historic. They hadn't lost 4 games in a row in nearly a decade. It's simply something that doesn't happen at a club of this level. This isn't Manchester United, but there is still plenty of time left to turn things around. Liverpool still have elite talent across the pitch. They just all need to figure out what the hell they're supposed to be doing. To see how good Slot's Liverpool looked when they were in the zone, you have to check out this video right here.